You're lucky you didn't keep me waiting, Cadet. Have a seat, would you? There's something we need to discuss. No, this isn't about your performance during the most recent expedition. I have found that everyone was rather concerned about how they would be viewed for their skills during such an expedition. Given the nature of it, it is not exactly unusual to question whether or not the decisions you made were correct. I won't be scolding you for that. No, surprisingly, it isn't about your rather lackluster cleaning skills. Although there is room for improvement, you are certainly one of the better cadets when it comes to that. No, what we're discussing is, rather surprisingly, a complaint from Hanji. I suppose I should apologize. I did misspeak just now. It isn't exactly a complaint so much as a concern that they'd voiced. Recently, due to the expedition and its rather dangerous nature. Is something funny, Cadet? Yes, I understand that every mission is dangerous. However, this one was far worse than anything we've ever encountered. And because of that, Erwin requested that Hanji perform routine medical exams to check for injuries. I can take it from your expression that you know what this is about, then? Feigning innocence, I see. Very well, I'll play along for now. The concern that Hanji had voiced was that you refused to let them examine you. They were worried that perhaps they'd done something to make you concerned. Perhaps that they had done something to make you wonder if they were really qualified to examine you. While I can understand the fear behind letting Hanji examine you, I assure you they are qualified. That isn't the issue? Then what is it, Cadet? Nothing? If it were nothing, you would have let them examine you. I can play this game just as long as you can, Cadet. Don't start giving me attitude, Cadet. One of the many advantages of being your superior is being able to reschedule some of my responsibilities and delegate them to others if needed. You, however, can do no such thing. And if you force me to play this little back-and-forth game all day, there will be consequences. Tell me what is going on. You and I both know that it isn't nothing. What was that? Don't continue playing dumb, Cadet. You adjusted your sleeve rather quickly. What was that for? What are you hiding, Cadet? Really? It's nothing of concern? Then I suppose you wouldn't mind showing me, would you? Then explain to me why you pulled your sleeve down like that. Oh? It's simply a nervous tic? I see. Well then, since we're going to be here for a while, I suppose I should just get myself something to drink. Tea is often good for these situations, wouldn't you agree? Really? You never pictured me much for small talk? Well, Cadet, that's because I rather despise it. However, oftentimes the awkwardness of being forced to converse so idly with Captain Levi Ackerman is enough to make cadets like you crack under the pressure. So I will continue conversing normally with you until you tell me what is going on with you. You are quite stubborn. You're aware of this, right? Good. Don't move, Cadet. You have lint on your sleeve. let me just... Cadet. Is this what you were so desperately trying to hide? No. No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Shocked would be a better word. I've been with the Survey Corps for a number of years now, but I must admit this is the first time I've seen something of this nature. No. No, I'm certainly not going to punish or scold you for not telling me about this. Something like this, it's not usually something you want to discuss with someone, especially someone who tends to be more intimidating than most. Here, let me make some tea for you. The scars seem rather new. They've healed recently, haven't they? I see. And I take it they weren't fully healed when Hanji asked to examine you? That would explain what I was asking about then. Is it safe to assume you never told Hanji about this? Right, of course. Then I suppose you didn't want them to find out about this when they examined you, correct? I see. When did you start doing this, Cadet? I told you, I'm not mad. Nothing about this situation is going to make me mad. Unless, of course, I find out that you've done this to someone else, someone who doesn't deserve it. After all, that would be assault, which, even in our line of work, is considered a crime. And though I can't say I'm pleased that you've been doing this, I'm not mad at you for it. Sometimes things just become a bit too much to handle. Sometimes this is the only thing you can think of to cope with. I understand that. And I'm not going to hold it against you for only finding this as a coping method. You were clearly suffering before doing this, and now you are suffering as a result. To scold you for that, to punish you, that would just be to inflict more needless suffering upon you. And you certainly don't deserve that. Not for this, at least. Your cleaning, of course. Well, even that is excusable. For now. So, when did you start? During training? I see. Do you have a history of mental illness, Cadet? I see. Then, would it be correct to assume that this mental illness and its symptoms were worsened by training? Of course. Of course. I can only imagine that the constant berating from Shadis would have severely damaged your self-esteem. If you had any self-deprecating thoughts before then, they would have only worsened with his taunting. I know that I don't often show a more compassionate side of myself, Cadet, so I won't blame you if you don't trust me fully with this. But I can assure you I won't say a word to anyone, unless you give me permission. So if you need to talk about this, please feel free to talk to me. Have I ever done something like this? Not this exactly, but I did do something similar. What I did, it damaged my future instead of my body. Before coming to the Survey Corps, Cadet, I made myself believe that what I was doing was the only way I could survive. As you might know, I was a criminal prior to joining the Survey Corps. I would hurt others, I would wound others. I would destroy any hope I could have for a future, a safe future, a happy future. And I continued on this way until Erwin caught me. And even then, when I joined the Survey Corps, those habits were difficult to break. As I'm sure you've noticed, I still continue to insult others, even when they've done nothing to deserve it. And as I'm sure Aaron has noticed, I do still have some violent tendencies, Cadet. Do I know how to make what stop, Cadet? That need? Am I to assume you are referring to the need for physical pain? The need to hurt yourself? I'm afraid I have yet to figure out how to make it stop. The only thing that keeps me from continuing my old habits is, well, Erwin. He gave me a chance when I was at my lowest, and that is something that I can never forget, Cadet. It is also something that I don't intend to cause dishonor to. I want to take the chance he gave me and utilize it to the best of my ability, no matter what the cost, and no matter how it makes me feel. You're uncertain whether you can find that type of motivation. Then allow me to give it to you, Cadet. Allow me to give you the opportunity that Erwin gave me all those years ago. What do I mean? Whenever you feel this way, whenever you feel the need to hurt yourself, come to me and I'll help you. How? You will have 3 options when you come to see me, Cadet. You are free to choose as many as you wish. First, you can sit in my office quietly while I work. You can read, you can enjoy some tea. You can sit there until you feel safe enough to go back to your room. Second, you can talk to me. You can tell me what's going on, and though I'm not the best at comfort, I can try to provide it for you. Third, and finally, we can go outside to the courtyard, and we can practice hand-to-hand combat. How is that supposed to help? It will give you the same experience of pain. However, it will also teach you how to protect yourself in the future. Yes, Cadet. I am willing to take the time out of my day to help you. Why? I know what it feels like to be hopeless. I know what it feels like to wonder if things are ever going to get any better. And I'll be damned if I let anyone who isn't an enemy of mine suffer through that. So, does that sound like a decent plan? Yes, Cadet. You can even come to me in the middle of the night. You won't wake me, Cadet. Oftentimes I have trouble sleeping. If anything, I'll be the one waking you up. Cadet, as promising as it is to see you smiling again, it is rather unsettling to be with someone who is so happy in my presence. Aside from Hanji, of course. They're unsettling because, well, it's Hanji. Yes, I suppose I will have to get used to it. Hopefully, you give me enough chances to experience it. Now, take your tea. And in a while I will attempt to listen so Hanji can explain to me how to perform a medical exam. If you still don't feel comfortable telling them about this, at least allow me to examine you so we can ensure that you aren't injured elsewhere. All right? Good. What was that, Cadet? Ah, yes, of course. I will be needing all the luck I can get. Thank you. And thank you for trusting me with this information. I truly hope that I can make things better for you, Cadet.